What is going on, YouTube? My name is Lucas. Now, I want you guys to hold your horses and don't jump off yet. That's right. Workhorse. I think people are getting ahead of themselves. I think that they're seeing the end of the road. And I don't think that this stock is done with anything yet. And if you're interested, I'm going to tell you why right after this. Before I try to tame this wild horse, I ask that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You guys have been phenomenal at smashing that subscribe button, and it helps out tremendously. It really shows that you guys are interested in my content, and of course, like I always say, I'm gonna keep the content flowing. Now, for everyone that's new, what happens when you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Well, you're gonna get updates on videos when they're live, and you're gonna get things such as stocks, stock news, business, and all kinds of other things. So I ask, please subscribe to my channel. Out there that's watching this is going to be like, well, Lucas, Workhorse has regressed. And not only has it regressed, it's going on its third straight day of doing that. And I mean, I would have to agree with you. That is correct. But I'm here to persuade you in a way that I feel is going to steer you in the right direction when it comes to this stock. There is so much going on with this stock behind the scenes that I just don't think has been brought to the light yet, and if it has, well, we really need to focus on it because I think it's going to make a huge impact with this stock. I don't think we've even scratched the surface when it comes to talking about a stock price. I think that $21 we broke the other day, I think we were just really kind of seeing what we could do. This is going to skyrocket, I'm telling you. So stay on board because let's dive into this thing. Workhorse Group chose a very, very unique niche. I mean, we gotta think, this thing has been predominantly dominated by Tesla, and it's still a domination force. I mean, Tesla is just a monster powerhouse. But now that Workhorse has broke onto the scene and really has something special going, it's not just about, you know, the everyday driver. This is actually going to deliver a service to companies out there that rely on making deliveries. I mean, just think about this. An EV vehicle that, you know, can be FedEx, it can be UPS, it can be the United States Postal Service. Fingers crossed that we get that contract. It can be Amazon. It can be Walmart. I mean, there are so many different avenues. Obviously, with Amazon and Walmart being, you know, major players in the online retail business, I mean, they're looking for people to deliver their products. Workhorse is going to be able to do that, and they're going to be able to do that in an efficient way that is emission free, and it's electric. In the big picture of things, electric vehicles are going to cost less to maintenance. I mean, yes, they may be a premium cost when it comes to actually purchasing the fleet, but when it comes to making repairs and, you know, having all these different, you know, avenues of fixing these vehicles, they're going to be a lot less, and they're going to be a lot more cost efficient in the long term than they would in the short term than a gas one would be. Major news that broke the other day was that Workhorse secured a $70 million loan that is going to help them completely just ramp up manufacturing. I mean, this couldn't come at a more better time. Obviously, the coronavirus has just impacted everything across the board. Every single video, I feel like I talk about the coronavirus, and it's still impacting us to this day. I mean, I could be talking about this in December. So, with that being said, we have to look at avenues of how people are still going to be able to get the merchandise, and the online shopping is definitely going to be that. Who's going to provide that service? That's going to be Workhorse Group. I mean, it really is. On top of that, we have to sit here and think, hey, you know, they're partnered with Lordstown Motors, and, you know, obviously Lordstown's going to be producing their truck, and Workhorse has their hand in on that truck. they're going to be making a 10% royalty off of the first 200,000 trucks that are rolled off the manufacturing line for Lordstown. I mean, there is obviously a pair there, and it's almost like a marriage, because the CEO of Lordstown was actually the former CEO of Workhorse Group. So there is obviously a partnership there. I mean, and with that being said, the opportunities for having that in the back of your pocket and still owning 10% of the company moving forward after the royalties is just monstrous, because now you have different avenues. You have a vehicle that is going to supply the needs of construction workers, and it's just going to do so much more. And I haven't even got to break into the Horsefly yet. You know, when we're talking about the delivery vehicles, the Horsefly is going to be a drone that is going to deliver packages for the last mile. And this thing is just really, really cool. You know, Workhorse was very smart when they patented this item. And I think that it's going to end up being something that we're going to see in the future, especially with the coronavirus, and maybe, who knows, you know, how long down the road we see another pandemic. It's crazy. Come to my favorite part in any video I do, and that is going to be chart breaking down time. So swing on over here and let's dive into this thing. So today it opened at $16.30, and it got as high as $18.10. Its low was $16.02, and the volume has been, you know, relatively high, especially with all this activity going on. So it's a little bit higher than obviously its average volume, which is at 17.31 million. Now its 52-week high was 22.90, and we broke that last week. And since then we've obviously leveled off and come down a little bit. Its 52-week low is $1.31, and I hope we never see that again. Now today it closed at $16.66, which was actually down 1.13%. But in the after hours, it jumped up to $16.70, which was 0.24% of an incline. So as we can see, this is a 1 month chart. So on June 9th, all the way till probably I would say the 22nd, it was pretty level. You know, when I got into this stock, it was probably a little over a year to, I would say a year and a couple months. And I got in at about $3, maybe a little less, $2.89. And I was like, man, I just really believe in this company. I just think they got to get the gears going. They got to get the believers. They got to get the financing. And now we're here. So on the 23rd of June, that's when things really started coming to fruition. The $70 million in financing started kicking in, and people started recognizing this company. Then all the Lordstown information came out with that connection, and just so much started happening. You know, all the EVs started breaking onto the scene. Tesla's, you know, producing cars and hitting their quarterly earnings, and just all this electrical vehicle news is coming out. And so this thing took off. It shot all the way up. We came down a little bit, but then on the 1st of July, and leading into the 2nd, is when we broke that 52-week high of $22.90. Now, this is my personal opinion, and I've seen it on a couple analysts. Some analysts have called $25. I personally, when I first got into this stock, I was calling for $20. I now think that the sky is the limit. I don't see why this stock doesn't hit $50 by the end of this year. I just don't see how. With the, you know, the rumors that Workhorse Group is in talks with the United States Postal Service of signing a contract that could potentially be worth in, you know, $1 billion to who knows how much money. It's only going to generate revenue and get this company really manufacturing those vehicles. That's going to bring in the revenue and cause this stock price to just shoot through the roof. I mean, we saw what it did every time it would, you know, make the headlines. This thing shot up. In the month of June, it was up, I believe, 700%. I mean, that is unheard of. So, I am calling this. This is my personal opinion. I think this thing hits $50 by the end of the year. I feel like I've tamed the horse pretty well and gave you guys as much information as I possibly could with where we're currently sitting. So you guys know how I do it. If you enjoy this video, smash that like button. It helps out tremendously. And if you enjoy the content, because I'm going to keep the content flowing, subscribe to my channel. And as always, have a good day.